Okay, I am. I had a pretty good day today, even though the hurricane or whatever it is, tropical storm, is bearing down on us. Uh, and I missed a phone call tonight from a guy that wanted to talk about uh, Sea Run. Okay, and Sea Run for us was always butt of the tight end or where the ghost tight end would be. And everybody's running this two gap, odd spacing. And we played Wisconsin when Dave Aranda was there. And I was very worried about this. Okay. And I'll just go over quickly what we're going to do on the backside. I want to talk about this thing right here more than anything. Okay. So we got an Apache over here. Okay. The center's going to arc. Okay. If the nose comes with him, he's going to grab him. Now all of a sudden he's in the stovepipe. But if he pops out, he's going to get square to air. Make sure that that nose can't run away from the guard. The backside guard is going to Apache. Usually a skip. We didn't have the center skip against this. We'd have a mark. Okay. Even if he could skip, we'd always have a mark because we wanted to make sure that he would get that picked up, and the arc was better for him. If a kid, I had a kid at Ball State who, if he wanted to skip, I'd say, yeah, go ahead, do it. But for the most part, we coach it that way. We'd skip and cut off here. And if the numbers were good, if we understood the numbers, and notice I have, instead of spots, I have backers because the C gap, you've got to eliminate hats. Okay. Ball's being run out here, and all these hats have got to get blocked. Okay. It's just the way it is. If somebody shows up outside the tight end, we've got to train it. Everybody's got to take one more man. And actually, when that guy shows up, it's easier. This is the problem right here, and this is what I want to talk about. Okay, just we wouldn't mind if we knew that this was an odd spacing. Um, that he would Apache and then shut this guy off, just hold him off. Okay, we didn't care. We didn't want him to chase that backer if the numbers were good. Okay, if he did, he did. Okay, but we tried to give him a picture. Okay, of what that was. Three down. We'd say three down. Two backers. Got to figure it out. Uh, but anyway, getting over here, this was the big problem. Okay, and I'm not talking about a guy that's lined up in a loose four eye, almost a three technique. And I'm not talking about a guy that's lined up as a nine technique, or even a jet backer, because that makes it easy. But this alignment right here, okay, and it's important to know whether this guy's a linebacker, okay, or he's, I don't know what you'd call him, a rush linebacker, Demarcus Ware, somebody like that, somebody that's really a down lineman, okay. Illinois had a guy, he's still playing in the league. Illinois had a couple of guys, they were pretty good. But anyway, getting back to this. Now, I didn't do this at Louisburg. I thought it was a little bit too much coaching for those guys, and we really majored in pin and pull and the A gap stuff. Okay, but every place else I've been, it's C gap. We didn't at Penn State. We didn't have an option quarterback. It was just you couldn't do it. And at Elon, we didn't do it. And really, Ball State, the first time I was there, the kid was a thrower. So we wanted to be good at the C gap run because we wanted to get away from extra people. We had an answer for down safety. He'd be part of the front. We count him as a backer. That's easy. But this thing always bothered me. Okay, now I'd never done this, so I'm recommending something that I've never done. But this dig thing has been pretty good. Thought process for me. Okay, and I want to just throw it out there and let you guys take a look at it. Okay, in the match area, this guy is really a yellow light. Now, if he's a backer and he's he's on the heel line of that down lineman, that defensive end. You know, he can loop, he can do all kinds of things, but it's hard for him to penetrate. And if he's in a 2 point stance, okay, you got to study him a little bit and just see what sort of a two. How good is he at the rocker step? How good is he at basically teetering and getting his pads down? Okay, if he's good at getting his pads down, then you want to use the shoulder roll, and you want to get that shoulder in on him. But if he's a real 2 point stance guy, you can go get him with long arms right away. And we wouldn't jet our arms right away like that. We would get him up playing long, being able to see our hands. But you wouldn't have to get your headgear involved in this guy at all if he was a certain type of linebacker. And the Wisconsin guys were that certain type of linebacker. We'd get their hands. If you go back and look at my CGAP stuff at Penn State, you'll see that we had a big old 6'7" guy putting his hands and get him right on that linebacker. But it's the footwork I want to talk about. Okay, dig footwork, taking the gator step with the shoulder roll. Okay, and I believe in the shoulder roll because it takes the target. Okay, it's not a weapon, it's a shield. It takes the target away from this guy. Okay, and believe me when I tell you, some of these guys are some of the best players on the defense. Sometimes they'll put a guy there that's just like he's a nickel backer or something like that. But I got a video of DeMarcus Ware taking Gronk and putting him out here somewhere. Okay, putting him in the backfield. Okay, so you get some war daddies. But anyway, getting back to this, and like I said, I never used this stuff in the CGAP, but I've been thinking about it, and tonight I really thought about it. Okay, so he's going to take that dig. Okay, and of course, if that man spikes, and usually you get an indication, but let's say you don't. Okay, that man spikes. If there is no safety down, he's probably not going to spike. He's probably going to run. Okay, and if he runs, you want to tear him and match him. Okay, but if he anchors, okay, if he anchors up, you want to dig him. Okay, now you might not be able to tear him, but you could probably leverage him if you have your shoulder pad down. You can leverage him, and that ball will spit right there. And if there's nobody to get there right away, and it gets out here, it's a pretty good deal. Okay, but if he runs, it's easy. You tear him, and everybody's happy. What I always worried about though was if he spiked. And I don't know if you noticed this tackle, but when he takes that gator step, he's looking to his gap. Period. That's what he's doing. Okay, and if anything hits that gap, he doesn't care about that end anymore. Right? He's gonna let somebody else worry about it. Now, if this backer skins it, the tight end's got to get his hands on him and stuff him back to the tackle. He's got to make this gap go away. He does that with long arms. He literally stuffs it. He stuffs it back. He stuffs it in, and there's a video of my guys doing that, stuffing outside backers. It's on the Penn State stuff, the early stuff that I posted. You have to go look for it. Okay, but if he hits the gap, okay, some kind of a hard pinch, the tackle should be able to pick him right up. Now, the tackle doing the same thing. He's going to dig. Okay, and if that happens, we should be in great shape. If not, he's going to come on back and grab this guy with two hands. Okay, might not be able to tear him, but this cat is going to shuffle over, and he's got the backer now, but he's going to hammer this thing open. He's going to hammer it open. So remember, if this man's containing, he's going to hammer this thing open, and that's going to bring the back, and the backer. If he can get this guy rolling, okay, with a hammer, it'll bring the running back and the linebacker to him. Now, he's got to shuffle. If he turns his shoulders, okay, the rule is square to air. He's in air. If he turns his shoulders early, or even when he hammers, if he turns his shoulders, okay, he's got to step deep and shuffle, and then he's going to close the leg to hammer. But when he hammers, he's freaking going. Now, if that linebacker runs, and remember, we're counting hats here. If that linebacker runs, he just buries this guy and plows him to the sideline. Okay, making the backer come back to him. Right. If this guy spikes, it's easy. If he long sticks, the center's going to pick him up, and everyone's in red light. I don't want to get all into that, but that's the one. This thing used to keep me up at night. Okay, these types of things. Okay, you got to study his stance a little bit and who he is, how deep he is. Okay, and dig this. And remember, if this guy skins it, okay, you got to stuff him back to the guard, and the guard should be able to get in front of that. If the guard sees that skin hit his gap, all of a sudden, guess what? It goes from red light to what? Green light. Okay, he goes from yellow light to red light. Okay, if this thing hits him, he goes from yellow light to green light. He goes from yellow light to red light. So he's going to put the brakes on, stuff it, and look for that linebacker coming over the top. Okay. Like I said, I never used the dig and ran the C gap. Okay. The dig was something that we really developed. The chip we used before, we used at Ball State. The dig was something new. Okay. I never liked match. I never liked match and yellow light. Okay. We did all kinds of stuff to it, but this dig, I think, solves the problem. It protects the gap, and then it gives you enough pound, enough punch to get this thing moving. Okay. Remember, we want to define these guys. If that backer runs out of there, he defines himself. If this guy two caps and tries to stuff the tackle, we got to bang him over. If we can stuff him to the guard, good. He wants to lag. We'll stuff him to the guard, and we'll work to the linebacker. And we wouldn't work immediately to the linebacker. We'd stuff and then shuffle a little bit, and then work the linebacker. Okay. If this guy turns his shoulders and just hammers the crap out of this guy, just pile drives him, the backer will come under and hit the back. So he's got to stay square as long as he can, as possible, as long as he can. Okay, he doesn't have to stay square. He can do the dig. Okay, he can shoulder roll and then come back and grab that guy with two hands. Same thing with this guy. Okay, that's what I've been thinking about. I wanted to throw it out there. Like I said, I can't prove it. You might see some of that on the some of the CGAP stuff, but it's happening by accident. We didn't have to dig. Okay, but now we do. So think about it, and we'll go from there. Had a good day today. A good day. I went and shot my cannon, my 44 Magnum Ruger Super Blackhawk. Ba boom.